The radar operator on the lunar base frowned at his screen. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Captain Harding, we have multiple contacts approaching from beyond Mars orbit, he said, his voice steady despite the tension in his shoulders. Lisa Harding stepped closer to the main display, her dark eyes narrowing as she studied the data. 20 years in Earth's Defense Force had taught her to trust her instincts, and right now, they were screaming danger. How many contacts, she asked. At least 30 large vessels, ma'am, nothing like our ships, they're bigger. The command center of the EDF flagship Defiant fell silent. Humanity had been alone in the solar system for all of recorded history. Until now. Send word to Admiral Russell, First Contact Protocol Alpha, and get me a direct line to Earth Command, Captain Harding ordered. Within hours, the unknown fleet had positioned itself between Earth and the Moon. Their ships gleamed like polished metal under the sun, dwarfing the largest human vessels. In Washington, D.C., Admiral George Russell stood beside Ambassador John Carter in the hastily assembled Emergency Council. They're broadcasting on all frequencies, a communications officer announced. They're requesting to speak with Earth's leaders. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a tall, slender figure with blue-tinted skin and 6 fingers on each hand. Its eyes were large, with vertical pupils that reminded Russell of a cat's. I am Zorax, representative of the Galactic Council, governing body of the civilized worlds, the alien said in perfect English. We have been monitoring your development for some time. Your recent achievements in faster-than-light research have necessitated this intervention. Ambassador Carter stepped forward. On behalf of Earth, we welcome you and look forward to peaceful relations with your council. The alien's expression didn't change, but something cold entered its voice. You misunderstand. We are not here to welcome you. We are here to contain you. The room erupted in confused murmurs until Admiral Russell raised his hand for silence. Contain us? For what purpose? He asked. Your species has demonstrated concerning tendencies toward violence and unpredictable behavior. Your technological advancement has outpaced your social development. The Council has determined that humanity must be restricted to this solar system until proper assessments and adjustments can be made. Ambassador Carter tried again. Surely we can discuss this. We have much to offer the galactic community. The decision has been made, Zorax replied. You will disable your military vessels and submit to Council authority. Resistance will be met with appropriate measures. The transmission ended abruptly. Did they just tell us to surrender? Carter asked, stunned. Admiral Russell's face hardened. Yes, they did, and I don't think they're expecting us to say no. On the Defiant, Captain Harding received the orders from Earth Command. Maintain position, show no aggression, but do not stand down. Ma'am, her tactical officer said urgently. The alien fleet is deploying smaller vessels toward the Moon. Lisa watched as 20 sleek ships detached from the main fleet and accelerated toward Tranquility City, the largest lunar colony with a population of 8,000 civilians. What are they doing? She whispered. The answer came minutes later as bright beams of energy struck the surface of the Moon. The lunar defense shields flickered and failed under the assault. 3 domes collapsed in rapid succession. They're attacking the colony, the tactical officer shouted. Tranquility City reports casualties and hull breaches. Captain Harding didn't hesitate. Battle stations target the ships attacking the colony weapons free. Ma'am, Earth Command hasn't authorized. There are 8,000 civilians down there, Lieutenant. I'm not waiting for paperwork while they die. The Defiant surged forward, its newly developed plasma cannons charging. 2 other Earth ships followed her lead. The aliens are hailing us, the communications officer reported. The alien commander appeared on screen. Human vessel, return to your position. This is merely a demonstration of Council authority. The colony's primary life support remains intact. This is your only warning. Lisa Harding stared at the alien, her mind racing through calculations of range, power, and shield capability. My name is Captain Lisa Harding of the Earth Defense Force. You have attacked civilians under my protection. That action constitutes An act of war under our laws. Your laws are irrelevant, the alien replied. The Defiant fired its main weapons. The alien ship's shields flared brilliant blue, but to everyone's surprise, the plasma beams penetrated, striking the hull and carving deep gashes in the alien vessel. The alien commander's eyes widened in what Lisa recognized as shock. The damaged alien ship veered away, its comrades breaking off their attack on the lunar colony to regroup. Direct hit, the tactical officer exclaimed. Their shields weren't designed to stop our type of plasma weapons. In Washington, Admiral Russell watched the sensor feeds with growing concern. Sir, his aide said, the alien fleet is pulling back to a higher orbit. They're hailing us again. Zorax appeared once more, but the calm superiority was gone from its face. This unprovoked aggression confirms our assessment. Your species will be contained until you learn your place in the galactic hierarchy. Resistance is futile against our coalition of 27 advanced civilizations. Unprovoked? Admiral, Russell couldn't contain his anger. You attacked a civilian colony, a measured response to show our capability. We did not expect. It is irrelevant. The Council will deliberate on appropriate measures for your species. Until then, any vessel attempting to leave your solar system will be destroyed. The transmission ended. Ambassador Carter turned to Russell. What just happened? I think, Russell said slowly. We just surprised them. They didn't expect us to fight back. And they certainly didn't expect us to damage their ships. He turned to his staff. Contact every nation on Earth. We're going to need every scientist, engineer, and soldier. And get me Captain Harding on the line. Aboard the Defiant, Lisa Harding watched the alien fleet retreat to a higher orbit. She should have felt relief, but instead she felt a growing dread. This wasn't over, it was just beginning. Captain, her executive officer said quietly, do you think we made a mistake by firing on them? Lisa shook her head. No. They came here, expecting submission. They needed to learn that humans don't submit easily. She took a deep breath. Send a message to Admiral Russell. Tell him we need to prepare for war. As she stared at the stars beyond the viewport, Lisa wondered how many other species had faced this galactic council before. How many had surrendered rather than fight? And how many had successfully resisted? One thing was certain. Humanity wasn't going down without a fight. And if these aliens thought a simple show of force would cow the human race, they had seriously misjudged their newest adversary. Dr. Samantha Wells had not slept in 36 hours. The attack on the lunar colony and the arrival of the alien fleet had turned her quiet research lab into the center of Earth's scientific resistance. Empty coffee cups littered her desk as she reviewed the sensor data from the Defiant's engagement with the alien ships. Play it again, she told her assistant. Slow down the part where our plasma beam hits their shield. The holographic display showed the moment of impact in precise detail. The alien shield flared bright blue, then seemed to ripple before the plasma cut through. There, Samantha pointed. That frequency disruption. Their shields operate on a completely different principle than we theorized. Secretary Diane Powell, the newly appointed Earth Defense Coordinator, entered the lab with 2 military officers in tow. Dr. Wells, I'd like you to meet Major Kevin Stone. He'll be leading our special operations teams. Major Stone was a tall man with a serious face and steady eyes. Doctor, he said with a nod, I'm told you might have found something useful about the alien technology. Samantha gestured to her findings. Their shields are incredibly advanced, but they have a fundamental flaw. They're designed to block energy weapons that use specific frequency patterns common to most advanced civilizations they've encountered. Our plasma weapons are, well, primitive by their standards. They weren't calibrated to stop them. So being less advanced actually helped us? Major Stone asked. Exactly. And if we can analyze more of their technology, we might find other weaknesses. Secretary, Powell leaned forward. That's where Major Stone comes in. We're organizing missions to capture alien technology. First target will be one of their scout ships. Across the solar system, the Galactic Council ships had formed a blockade. No Earth vessel could leave the system without facing destruction. 3 attempts by civilian ships to break through had been quickly stopped, though the aliens had merely disabled the ships rather than destroying them. Inside the Council's command vessel, Zorax was meeting with Council observer Galactic, a small, quick-moving alien with 4 eyes and gray skin. "They are adapting faster than expected," Galactic reported. "I've been monitoring their communications. All their nations have united against us." "Temporary cooperation due to external threat," Zorax dismissed. "It will not last. Their history shows they cannot maintain unity." Galactic fidgeted. "There is something else. The human female who damaged our ship. Their media calls her the hero of tranquility. They are rallying around her actions, and their scientists are already studying the debris from our damaged vessel." Zorax's face showed the first sign of concern. "How did they recover it so quickly? They sent ships immediately after we withdrew. We did not expect them to move with such speed." "Increase the patrol frequency around their planet. Nothing gets out beyond the blockade. The Supreme Council has authorized full containment measures." Back on Earth, Major Stone's team prepared for their first mission. 12 men and women, the best special forces operators from around the world, trained with new spacesuits designed for stealth operations. "The alien scout patrols follow a predictable pattern," Major Stone explained, showing a holographic map of the solar system. "We'll intercept this one near the asteroid belt. Dr. Wells has developed a device that should temporarily disable their systems without destroying the ship." One of his team, Lieutenant Maria Rodriguez, examined the small disc-shaped device. "And this won't trigger their shields?" "It operates on multiple frequencies simultaneously," Samantha explained. "Their shields can't block them all at once." Admiral Russell joined the briefing. "This mission is strictly capture, not destroy. We need their technology intact, and we need to know more about who we're facing." 3 days later, Major Stone's team launched aboard the stealth ship, Shadow. Its hull was covered in new material that absorbed radar and light, making it nearly invisible to standard sensors. They intercepted the alien scout ship exactly where predicted. The Shadow matched its speed, and 6 team members spacewalked across to the alien vessel. They placed Dr. Wells' device against the hull. A brief flash of energy pulsed through the scout ship. All its lights went dark. "We're in," Major Stone reported. "All alien systems offline." Inside the scout ship, they found no crew. The vessel was controlled remotely. "Even better," said Lieutenant Rodriguez. "No risk of casualties. Let's get this thing back to Earth." Within hours, Dr. Wells and her team were crawling over every inch of the captured scout ship. What they discovered amazed them. "Their technology is advanced, but not as advanced as they led us to believe," Samantha reported to Secretary Powell and Admiral Russell. "They've been using the same systems for centuries. There's almost no innovation in their design." "What does that mean for us?" the Admiral asked. "It means they're vulnerable. They rely on technological superiority and the fear it creates. But their actual combat capabilities might be less impressive than their ships suggest." Secretary Powell nodded. "How quickly can we adapt their technology to our use?" "With global cooperation? Weeks, not months or years." The Admiral looked shocked. "That fast?" "Their systems are surprisingly easy to understand once you get past the initial barrier. It's like they designed everything to be simple and unchanging. Almost stagnant." Unknown to the humans, Galactic had managed to place surveillance devices on Earth before the blockade. He watched with growing alarm as humans around the world began reverse engineering alien technology at an astonishing pace. He sent an urgent message to Zorax. "The humans are adapting our technology faster than any species we have encountered. Recommend immediate full invasion rather than blockade." Zorax dismissed the warning. "No primitive species can understand Council technology quickly enough to pose a threat. Continue observation." 6 weeks later, Earth launched its first ship built with hybrid human-alien technology. The Vengeance was smaller than Council vessels, but incorporated shield technology reverse-engineered from the captured scout. Captain Eric Bennett stood on the bridge looking at his crew with pride. "Today we take the fight back to them," he said. They thought we would sit behind their blockade and wait for rescue or surrender. They don't understand humans at all. Lieutenant Maria Rodriguez, newly promoted and assigned as tactical officer on the Vengeance, monitored the alien blockade ships. They've detected us, Captain. 3 council ships moving to intercept. Captain Bennett smiled. Perfect. Let's show them what humans can do when backed into a corner. The Vengeance accelerated toward the blockade, its new engines pushing it faster than any previous Earth vessel. The council ships fired warning shots across its path. They're signaling us to turn back, the communications officer reported. No. Response, Bennett ordered. Weapons ready, Lieutenant Rodriguez? Yes, sir. Modified plasma cannons online. Dr. Wells's shield disruptors standing by. As the 3 council ships moved to surround the Vengeance, Bennett gave the order, no alien. Could have anticipated. Full attack speed. Target their engines first. Let's see if Dr. Wells's theories are correct. The Vengeance shot forward, directly toward the largest council ship. The battle that followed would change the course of the war, and humanity's place in the galaxy, forever. The Vengeance moved with surprising speed toward the largest council ship. On the bridge, Captain Eric Bennett felt a moment of doubt. They were about to attack an alien vessel many times their size, with technology far beyond what humans had, possessed only weeks ago. 30 seconds to weapon range, Lieutenant Rodriguez announced. The 3 council ships formed a blocking pattern, energy weapons charging. Their communication systems blared with warnings in multiple languages. They're ordering us to stop or be destroyed, the communications officer said. Bennett nodded. As expected. Hold course. Activate Wells's shield disruptors. Small devices attached to the hull of the Vengeance began emitting waves of energy across multiple frequencies. On the council ship's sensor alarms blared. Council Admiral Voxneer, a tall alien with ridged skin and multiple arms, watched the approaching human ship with disdain. 1 small vessel against 3 council warships? The humans are either brave or foolish, he said to his bridge crew. Disable their engines. We will add this ship to our study collection. His weapons officer targeted the Vengeance but looked confused. Sir, their shield signature is unusual. I cannot get a proper lock. Impossible. Fire anyway. The council ship released a bright beam of energy. It struck the Vengeance's shields, which flared not with the expected blue light but with a swirling rainbow pattern. On the Vengeance, Lieutenant Rodriguez grinned. Direct hit, Captain. Shields holding at 93%. Dr. Wells's modifications worked. Bennett nodded. Now it's our turn. Target their engine section. Fire main plasma. Cannons. The Vengeance fired. Its weapons were based on the plasma technology that had damaged a council ship during their first encounter, but now enhanced with elements of alien design. The beam struck the council ship's shields and passed through as if they weren't there. On the council ship, Admiral Voxneer staggered as his vessel shook violently. Engine power down 40%, shields failed completely, his officer reported in panic. How? This is primitive technology, Voxneer demanded. Before anyone could answer, the Vengeance fired again, targeting the 2nd council ship with the same devastating effect. The 3rd ship began to retreat. Sir, the communications officer on the Vengeance said, we're being hailed by the damaged council ships. Bennett straightened his uniform. Put them through. Admiral Voxneer appeared. On screen, his expression a mixture of rage and disbelief. Human vessel, cease your attack. This action violates council law. This is Captain Eric Bennett of Earth's Defense Force. Your blockade of our planet violates our sovereignty. We demand you remove all council ships from our solar system immediately. Voxneer's eyes narrowed. Impossible. The council has decreed. The council isn't here, Bennett interrupted. Your ships are damaged. Ours is not. Consider your options carefully, Admiral. After a tense silence, Voxneer spoke. A temporary withdrawal to avoid unnecessary loss. The council will respond in force to this provocation. The transmission ended. The damaged council ships began moving away from Earth, their engines leaving trails of unusual energy. Lieutenant Rodriguez looked at the sensor readings. Captain, all council ships are falling back beyond the orbit of Neptune. We did it. Bennett shook his head. We won a skirmish, Lieutenant. The war is just beginning. Back on Earth, news of the Vengeance's success spread rapidly. In his workshop, surrounded by alien technology, Dr. Alan Morris, the lead engineer for Earth's new fleet, addressed a room of scientists and military officials. The Vengeance proved our theories correct, he said, pointing to technical diagrams. Council ships use standardized technology across their fleet. They haven't had to innovate in centuries because no one challenged them. Secretary Powell stepped forward. How quickly can we build more ships like the Vengeance? With global factory conversion, we can launch 5 more within a month. By the end of the quarter, we could have 30. Admiral Russell nodded in approval. What about improvements, Doctor? Morris smiled. The Vengeance was just the prototype. Each new ship will be better. We're learning their technology and improving on it simultaneously. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council held an emergency session in their distant headquarters. Hundreds of alien representatives from different species gathered in a vast chamber. Zorak stood before them, trying to explain the human situation. These humans have shown unexpected resourcefulness, he admitted. They've adapted some of our technology far faster than predicted. Supreme Counselor Drav, a massive being with scaled skin and glowing eyes, rose from his seat. You assured us they would be easily contained. Now they have damaged council ships and broken your blockade. A temporary setback, Zorax insisted. We simply need more ships. From the back of the chamber, a softer voice spoke. All heads turned to see Counselor Zenkar, one of the oldest members of the council, known for her moderate views. Perhaps we should reconsider our approach, she suggested. If humans can adapt so quickly, they might make valuable allies rather than subjects. Drav made a dismissive gesture. Weakness, they must be shown their place. I call for immediate full-scale invasion of the human system. The council erupted in debate. Eventually, Supreme Counselor Drav's view prevailed. The council would send its grand fleet to crush the human resistance once and for all. Counselor Zenkar left the chamber troubled. In her private quarters, she recorded a message and gave it to her most trusted aide. Find a way to get this to the humans, she instructed. They deserve to know what's coming. 3 months passed. Earth's shipyards worked day and night. 25 ships now protected the solar system, all built with the hybrid technology pioneered by the Vengeance. On one of these new ships, the Defiance, Commander Eric Bennett, promoted after his success on the Vengeance, received an unexpected transmission. It had come through a complex route, passed from trading ship to mining vessel, eventually reaching human space. The message was from Counselor Zenkar. The Council has dispatched the Grand Fleet. Over 1,000 ships are coming to your system. They will arrive within 2 months. Prepare yourselves. Bennett immediately contacted Earth Command. In the war room, Admiral Russell, Secretary Powell, Dr. Wells, and the other leaders of Earth's defense gathered to discuss this intelligence. 1,000 ships, Admiral Russell said grimly. Even with our new technology, we can't face those odds. Dr. Samantha Wells had been quiet, studying data on her tablet. Now she looked up with determination in her eyes. Maybe we don't have to fight them all, she said. I've been studying Council communication systems. They rely on instantaneous quantum links between ships. If we could disrupt those links, they'd lose coordination. Secretary Powell finished the thought. Their numbers would work against them. Exactly. And I think I know how to do it. As they began planning Earth's defense, Commander Bennett stared at the star map, showing the Council fleet's approach. He thought of what he had told his crew before their first battle, that the aliens didn't understand humanity. They still don't understand, he said quietly. They think numbers alone will win this war, but humans have faced bad odds throughout our history, and we're still here. Outside the window of the war room, Earth's factories glowed with activity. New weapons were being tested, ships were being built, and humanity was preparing to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of when pushed too far. General Patricia Nelson stood on the bridge of the Earth flagship Freedom, watching as her fleet approached the Centauri system. 6 months ago, Humanity had been trapped in their own solar system. Now they were taking the fight to nearby stars. Status. Report, she ordered. Her second-in-command, Colonel Frank Wright, brought up a holographic display. 3 Council patrol ships detected near the 4th planet. They haven't spotted us yet thanks to our new stealth systems. General Nelson nodded. And the colony? Sensors show a small Council base on the 2nd planet. Approximately 500 members of the Talari species. They appear to be mining workers. The Talari were one of the many species that had been forced into service by the Galactic Council. Intelligence from Counselor Jen Carr had identified them as potential allies. If they could be freed from Council control, prepare boarding teams, Nelson ordered. Remember, the Talari are not our enemies. They're potential friends. As Earth prepared for the coming invasion, human leaders had made a bold decision. Rather than wait for the Grand Fleet to arrive, they would expand outward, establishing bases in nearby star systems and seeking allies among other species oppressed by the Council. The Freedom and its 5 support ships moved silently through the Centauri system. When they were in position, General Nelson gave the order. Disable the patrol ships quick and clean. Earth vessels fired their modified weapons. The Council patrol ships, caught completely by surprise, lost power before they could send distress signals. Boarding teams away, Colonel Wright reported. Ground teams heading to the mining colony. On the planet's surface, Major Kevin Stone led 50 soldiers toward the Council mining operation. The facility was lightly defended. The Council had never expected an attack this far from Earth. Remember, Stone told his team, we're here to liberate, not conquer. When they reached the mine entrance, they encountered their first Talari. The aliens were tall and thin, with 4 arms and skin that shifted colors with their emotions. Currently, they showed patterns of fear, blues and grays swirling across their bodies. Stone held up his hands to show he was not threatening them. A translator device on his suit converted his words. We are humans from Earth. We've come to offer you freedom from Council rule. The Talari looked confused. One stepped forward, skin shifting to curious yellow patterns. Humans? The new primitive species. How did you reach our world? Stone smiled. We're not as primitive as the Council told you. Within hours, the Earth forces had secured the entire colony without firing a shot. The Talari, once they understood the humans were fighting against Council domination, quickly joined their cause. Diu, leader of the Talari colony named Thora, met with General Nelson aboard the Freedom. For 300 years, my people have been forced to mine resources for the Council, Thora explained, her skin showing angry red patterns. They take our children as security to ensure our cooperation. Where are they keeping your children? Nelson asked. At a Council education center in the Rigel system. There are thousands of children from many species there. General Nelson made a quick decision. We'll help you free them. Thora's skin shifted to a bright, hopeful gold. You would do this, why? Because it's right, Nelson replied simply. And because every species that joins us makes us stronger against the Council. Back in the Sol system, Peter Franklin, Earth's new ambassador, was meeting with representatives from 3 alien species who had secretly entered the system to learn more about these humans who dared to challenge the Council. The Council has ruled for thousands of years, said the representative from the Volani, a species that resembled large insects. Many have tried to resist. All have failed. Ambassador Franklin nodded. But none of those species had our particular history or mindset. Humans spent most of our existence fighting each other. We've had to become experts in adaptation and warfare just to survive ourselves. This is why you advance so quickly? Asked the representative from the Durrani, a reptilian species. Partly, Franklin explained. We also value innovation and change. The Council seems to prefer stability and stagnation. That gives us an advantage. As these diplomatic efforts continued, Earth scientists made another breakthrough. Dr. Samantha Wells called an emergency meeting with Admiral Russell and Secretary Powell. I've found a vulnerability in the Council's fleet, she announced, bringing up technical diagrams. Their quantum communication system uses a specific subspace frequency to coordinate their ships. If we can flood that frequency with noise, their entire command structure will collapse. How close would we need to be? Admiral Russell asked. That's the best part, Wells smiled. We can build a device that will transmit the disruption signal through their own communication network. One ship could affect thousands. Secretary Powell looked impressed. When can it be ready? 2 weeks. But we'll only get one chance before they adapt. Meanwhile, in the Grand Council chamber, Counselor Genkar confronted Supreme Counselor Drav during a heated debate. The humans have now freed 3 mining colonies and established bases in 7 star systems, she said. Your grand fleet has yet to even reach their home world, and already they are spreading throughout our territory. Drav's scales darkened, with anger. Minor successes against unprepared outposts. When the grand fleet arrives, they will be crushed completely. In all my centuries, Genkar replied calmly. I've never witnessed a species advance so rapidly. The humans in 6 months have developed technology that took us millennia. This war cannot be won through conventional means. We must negotiate. While we still can. Negotiate with primitives? Drav laughed. The Council does not negotiate with lesser species. We determine their place in the galactic order. And if they refuse the place you assign them, then they will be removed from the order entirely. As Genkar left the chamber, she sent another secret message to Earth, warning them of Drav's intentions. The message reached Ambassador Franklin, who immediately shared it with Earth's leaders. President Karen Mitchell, recently elected to lead Earth's unified government during the crisis, called her war council together. The council intends to wipe us out completely if we don't submit, she told the assembled leaders. According to our intelligence, their grand fleet will reach our solar system in 3 weeks. Admiral Russell spoke first. Our fleet now numbers 100 ships with Dr. Wells's disruption device nearly ready. But we're still outnumbered 10 to 1. General Nelson, joining via hologram from the Centauri system, had a different perspective. Madam President, in the last month we've freed 3 colonies and made contact with 5 species who want to join our cause. The Council's empire is built on fear and control. It's already starting to crumble. Dr. Wells added, and each species brings new knowledge and technology. The Talari understand mining and materials better than we ever could. The Volani are experts in biology. President Mitchell considered this information. So we're not just fighting for ourselves anymore. No, ma'am, General Nelson replied. We're fighting for a new kind of galaxy. One where species work together, as equals, not rulers and subjects. The president stood up, her decision made. Then that's the message we send to every species in Council space. Earth doesn't seek to replace the Council as rulers. We seek to end the concept of galactic rulers. Entirely. As the meeting ended, Admiral Russell remained behind with the president. It's a bold vision, he said. But first we have to survive the Grand Fleet. President Mitchell nodded. Have faith, George. These aliens still don't understand what they've wakened by threatening Earth. They think this is the end of our story. She smiled grimly. But we're just beginning. The Grand Fleet of the Galactic Council emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Sol system. 1,000 warships, each many times larger than Earth's largest vessels, filled the space near Neptune. Their weapons could destroy planets. Their shields had never been breached. For thousands of years, this fleet had crushed any resistance to Council rule. Supreme Counselor Drav stood on the command deck of his flagship, looking at the holographic display of the human solar system. Send the message to their leaders, he ordered. Surrender immediately or face extinction. On Earth, President Karen Mitchell received the ultimatum in the underground command center beneath the Rocky Mountains. Around her stood Earth's military and scientific leaders, including Admiral Russell, Secretary Powell, and Dr. Wells. They're giving us 6 hours to surrender, the communications officer reported. President Mitchell looked at the assembled faces. Options? Admiral Russell spoke first. Our fleet is in position. 150 ships, plus 30 vessels contributed by our new allies. The disruption device? Mitchell asked. Dr. Wells nodded. Ready, Madam President, but we'll need to get at least 1 ship close to their command vessel. A suicide mission, Admiral Russell said quietly. I'll do it. came a voice from the doorway. Captain Lisa Harding, the first human to damage a council ship, stepped into the room. The Defiant has been outfitted with our best stealth technology. We can get close enough. President Mitchell considered for a moment, then nodded. Approved, but this isn't just about survival anymore. Open a channel to the Supreme Counselor. On the screen, Drav appeared, his scaled face showing contempt. Human leader, have you come to accept the Council's terms? President Mitchell stood tall. This is President Karen Mitchell of the United Earth Government. I'm here to offer you our terms. Drav's expression changed to shock, then rage. Your terms, you face annihilation. These are our conditions, Mitchell continued calmly. First, the Galactic Council will recognize the full sovereignty of Earth and all human colonies. Second, all species currently under Council rule will be given the choice of independence. Third, a new galactic alliance will be formed where all species have equal representation. Drav laughed, a harsh sound. You are either insane or suicidal. The Council has ruled for 10,000 years. You have existed in space for less than a century. Those are our terms. You have 1 hour to respond before we take action. Mitchell ended the transmission. Admiral Russell looked at her with concern. That will only enrage him further. Good, Mitchell replied. Angry opponents make mistakes. Captain Harding, prepare your ship. As soon as the hour expires, you move. Space around Earth filled with human vessels. They were outnumbered 7-1, but each ship carried technology that had been improved far beyond what the Council had ever seen. In the Council fleet, Drav raged at his subordinates. Launch all fighters! Target their largest vessels first! Before his orders could be carried out, an alert sounded. A small Council ship had appeared near his flagship. It was Counselor Genkar's personal vessel. What is she doing here? Drav demanded. His communications officer looked up in confusion. Sir, we're receiving reports that Council ships are dropping out of formation across the fleet. What? Almost 200 vessels have broken formation. They appear to be joining the human defense line. On board her small ship, Counselor Genkar broadcast a message to the entire fleet. For too long, the Council has ruled through fear and oppression. I have seen what the humans offer, a chance for all species to live as equals. I call on all who believe in true justice to stand with Earth against tyranny. Drav's rage knew no bounds. Shoot down that traitor. Launch the attack now. The battle for Earth began. Council ships fired devastating weapons that crashed against human shields. Human vessels returned fire with their modified plasma weapons that sliced through Council defenses. In the chaos, the Defiant slipped past the front lines, its stealth systems masking it from Council sensors. Captain Lisa Harding guided her ship directly toward Drav's flagship. Status of the disruption device? She asked her science officer. Ready, Captain, but we need to get within 5,000 kilometers to guarantee transmission. The Defiant moved, closer, evading patrols and debris. When they were in position, Captain Harding gave the order. Activate the device. Full power. Dr. Wells's creation came to life, sending a signal that piggybacked on the Council's own communication network. Throughout the Grand Fleet, ships suddenly lost contact with each other. Coordinated attack patterns fell apart. Friendly fire incidents erupted as vessels crashed into one another. On his flagship, Drav watched in horror as his fleet descended into chaos. What is happening? He demanded. His officers had no answers. Their quantum communication system was worthless, filled with noise and false signals. Taking advantage of the confusion, the human fleet and their allies pressed forward. Leading the charge was Admiral Russell aboard the Freedom. Target their weapon systems, he ordered. Disable, don't destroy. Across the battlefield, a remarkable thing happened. More Council ships began lowering their shields and powering down weapons. Crew members who had served out of fear rather than loyalty saw their chance for freedom. In the Council chamber, news of the battle reached the other counselors. Many had been kept in the dark about the true nature of the human conflict. Now, seeing Drav's failure and Genkar's defection, they called for an emergency vote. Back in the Sol system, Drav's flagship came under direct attack from 6 Earth vessels. Its shields failed and its weapons went offline. Supreme Counselor, an officer reported. We're receiving a transmission from the council chamber. They've voted to remove you from power. They're calling for an immediate ceasefire. Drav could not believe what he was hearing. Impossible. I am the Supreme Counselor. Not anymore, came Genkar's voice as her face appeared on his screen. The vote was unanimous. The war is over, Drav. 2 days later, representatives from Earth, the Council, and dozens of formerly oppressed species gathered on a neutral space station. Counselor Zenkar, now the interim leader of what remained of the Council, faced President Mitchell across the negotiation table. The Council formally requests a ceasefire, Zenkar said. President Mitchell looked at Ambassador Franklin, then back to Zenkar. Ceasefire, we're just beginning. Humanity doesn't seek your destruction but your transformation. The old council of fear and subjugation is over. Today we build a new galactic community of equals. She extended her hand in the human gesture of agreement. Zenkar looked at it curiously, then extended her own hand in return. So be it. A new beginning. 1 year later, the new Galactic Alliance headquarters opened in orbit around a neutral star. Representatives of over 50 species, including many former council races, attended the ceremony. Admiral Russell, now retired, stood beside Captain Harding as they watched ships from across the galaxy arrive for the celebration. Did you ever imagine this? Harding asked. When you sent me against that first council ship? Russell shook his head. Never. I just hoped we would survive. And now look at us, humans, the architects of a new galactic order. As the ceremony began, the words of the new Alliance Charter were displayed for all to see. The stars belong to all who have the courage to reach for them. For humanity, it wasn't the end of their journey among the stars. It was just the beginning.